Hi everyone, I'm just finding where our page is on the Facebook page. See if we're live yet. I think we are. Okay. So yes, we're live. Yes. And look, today you can actually see. It's not like the shadow puppet play last week. I've got my new bulb for my hot light and I bought another hot light as well. So hopefully you can see me tonight. It looks nice and bright. So, hi Laurie, how are you doing? You had a nice week? It's a bit chilly today. Oof. I'm done with the snow. And I've got a couple of things just to talk about at the beginning and to show you. So we'll have a look at these first. Just a reminder that we've got this seasonal sale that started today. So 10% off cardstock, 15% off ink pads, and it says Nod ink pad bundles or third party pads. Now the ink pad bundles are where you buy the whole set of 10. And the third party pads are things like the Memento Black, Stays On, Versamark, things like that. But Stampin' Up's individual ink pads like this, these have got 15% off and then 20% off dies. I bet it was chilly walking dogs, Laurie. I think you're very brave to walk them today. Okay. And then the dies, all the things are in the annual catalogue, and the dies you can just find at the back of the catalogue. So it's actually the very last few pages and it's just all of the dies. I'm going to buy myself these ones, these basic borders. I don't have these and I do like just the, the different edges that you can get. I think that'd be nice for card fronts, so I'm going to treat myself to those. If you don't have any of the dies, if you're just starting up, I would recommend something like the layering circles. I use those all the time. So not on blends yet, Laurie, no. There might be a sale another time, but not on blends at the moment. But look, on my desk, I always, because I've been making card kits this weekend, there's always some of these circles. And I just love how they coordinate. You can make just such simple card fronts with them. Just ribbon, designer series paper, a little sentiment, and you're done. So I love those. And seeing as we can't have the punches anymore, then they're the next best thing. The other set that I love is the Stitch So Sweetly, these ones. And you'll probably see me using these a lot. So I love all the rectangular ones because they interlock. So you can layer, and then this little set here. So if I was going to choose just one, I would get layering circles. If I could have two, I would get layering circles and these. But this would be a really good one for Christmas, the tags. So I don't have these word wishes, and I do look at those from time to time and think that would be really nice for the front of a card. So I might get those as well. But yeah. But only for 3 days, so don't miss out. Okay, and then the other thing that I was going to mention is our virtual Christmas social. We used to be able to have this at home, and we would bring potluck and have a couple of hours making cards, having fun, playing games. But of course we can't do that right now. So I know Laurie, you're already booked in for this. And we make a couple of projects. Last year we made some cards and a bag and gift cards, and then we have some prizes as well. You have a bag of swag and you use those for your projects, and then whatever's left, of course, you use yourself at home. But I always have lots of extra prizes, and I use it as my once a year gift giving as well. So there's it's $35, but you always get way more than that. So if you would like a place, let me know and I can place the order. Okay, so let me show you. Yeah, Laurie, I know you're coming. Let me show you what we're going to make tonight. Now, I've seen this called a couple of things. I've seen it called a benchfold card. I've seen it called a double gatefold card, but honestly, I don't see how it can be a double gatefold unless they mean, you know, the layer at the back and the layer at the front. And I don't honestly know which name is the right name. I call it a benchfold card, and it's not something I make very often. So I've got a little prototype here. I watched quite a few videos. I looked on Pinterest a few times, and most people seem to have it so that these flaps here are at the front and the image that we're going to make is there. But I actually like it this way round. I like it so that the image sort of stands out more, and the pieces that we're going to have at the side, you can still see them and they're really pretty, but they're a little bit more in the background, and it stands like this. Once it's folded, it's only 4 inches wide, so it fits perfectly in one of our envelopes. So it's quick, it's easy. This is my working out here, so ignore that bit. I have got all the sizes and everything ready. Let me just, I've got it here, so let me put it onto the front of my paper, and then you can see. Let me move it along. There we go. You can see what I'm cutting and what I'm scoring. Okay, so I'm not going to use this piece of fresh freesia. This really was just me playing. Hi Janet, how are you doing? Hope you've had a good week. So it's very chilly here. If you want any cold air sending, we could send you some. So I'm making a benchfold card, Janet, and if you know another name for this, tell me. I've only seen it as a benchfold card, but there were lots of different shapes of it for benchfold card when I put that into my Google search. So I'm thinking it must have another name as well. But I'm going to be using mint macaron. I'm going to be using some little bits of my Whimsy and Wonder paper. I'm going to be using my Whimsical Trees stamp set and the matching dies, and my Peaceful Deer. I want to use the Peaceful Deer, I want to use this sentiment. And these sentiments, they're very nice, they just weren't what I wanted. So, freezing rain tomorrow, oh no, we don't want that, thank you. Janet, you keep your freezing rain. So, we'll go with our just cold weather. Although yesterday we had a lot of fog, and that was horrendous. But yeah, so that's what I'm using. If you want to join in and make it at the same time, we can certainly do that as well. So I'm just going to cut my card base in half, because I only need half a piece. I'm going to cut it at 5.5. Oh, these lights are nice and bright. Okay. I'm going to put this piece away because I don't need it. So let's get rid of that piece. Okay, now, we're going to turn this 90 degrees and we're going to have the longest edge at the top. Okay? And we're going to score at 2 inches and then 3 1/8. I promise you it's easy. So 2 inches, line it up on your 2-inch mark, and then we're just going to score. Oh, now I had a question last week about my scoring the whole trimmer. Somebody had bought one and said to me that, let me just move this, said to me that on theirs, the darker grey, which is the cutting blade, was at the top and the lighter one was at the bottom, and that's exactly how they come. I just took mine out. I like my scoring blade to be the one that goes out of the way most of the time. So, you know, when I'm cutting, I can move my scoring blade up there. There's not room to put 2 pieces, so I just took them out of this little hole here. You know how you take a blade out? So, let's just open this. So you take the blade out here, and all I did was take the blades out and just change them round. So if you have a trimmer and your darker blade is at the top, that's exactly how it should be. So So please don't worry about it. You haven't got something and it's put in wrong. Okay, let's go back to scoring. So 2 inches is what I've scored my first one at. And then I'm going to score at 3 1/8. So I'm lined up at 3, and I know that it's 2 little marks because each mark is 1/16. So there's 1 mark, 2 marks. So the second little mark along. And then rather than work out any other little measurements, all I'm doing is I'm turning it round 180 degrees, and I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm lining it up at 2 inches, and then at 3 1/8. So 1/16 is the first one, 1/8 is the next one. And that's it. That's the whole cutting and scoring for the base. Okay, the next thing you need to do is this left hand side fold, we're going to fold it underneath. Okay. The next one we're going to fold over the top, and I'm going to go over with my bone folder. You need a cutter and a scorer. Do you know, I love this one. I even bought one for preschool, Laurie, because it's so easy to use. It's light. You know, you can hang it on a little hook if you want. I don't keep mine on a hook. I love that it's got this extendable arm, and I love that it does 12-inch paper, because some of the ones I've had in the past don't do 12 inches, and then when you've got a great big piece of designer series paper, it's really tricky. So for general cutting, I use this. If I'm bulk cutting, I do have a different machine. I have a Carl cutter, so I can do maybe 20-30 sheets at a time. But for day to day, I love this trimmer. Okay, so let's go back to this. So again, we folded that one back, so you've got like that one little flap. And we're going to do the same here. So I'm going to fold that one that way, that one that way. And can you see how you get that little bridge shape? I think that's what it should be called. It should be called a bridge card, not a bench fold card. But I don't know. It looks like a little bridge to me. Okay, I'm just going to go over all of these lines. That cutter, yeah, a trimmer. I just call it. Laurie, are you asking me if it's a cutter or a trimmer, or I'm not quite sure. Sorry. It is a Stampin' Up. Sorry, I've just seen the message before. It is the Stampin' Up trimmer. So the one in the annual catalogue. Let me just find it and show you. Okay. So let's just see. It's here in the trimmer 151. There, look. It's that one there. Just on the half page there. Okay, and you can buy extra blades. It's a $34 trimmer, and you can get packs of 4 of the blades. I find that these blades don't wear down as quickly as our other trimmer that we used to have, and I've probably only put 2 sets of blades in, and I've had it since this one came out. What's that, ladies? About 18 months ago, maybe? Okay, so here we are. Let's go back to our card. I'm going to cut designer series paper to go here and here, and to go on this side. Okay, and I still think that I'm going to have this as my front. I know lots of people have this one as the front, but I just want that focus point to really pop out. So I'm going to cut one pattern for these 2 pieces and a different pattern for these 2 pieces. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. I'm going to use, oh, I just dropped half of it on the floor, never mind. I'm going to use this one. So I need to cut pattern 1, 2 pieces at 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. And pattern 2, exactly the same size, 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. If you want to put the same pattern paper on all the sides, that's fine as well. You just need 4 pieces. You decide how you want it to go. I'm going to cut off a 6-inch piece because I like my designer series paper kept in 6-inch pieces. because I know I can make projects like that. But now I'm going to cut 1 3/4 and 1 3/4. So I want 2 little pieces. So here's 1 and 2, and then I'm just going to cut these down to 5 1/4. I wasn't sure which side I wanted. I want that big tree, so let's cut that down to 5 1/4. And then same here. Let's cut it down to 5 1/4. Okay. So these are going to be my pieces for the front, and I think that's how the pattern goes. Yeah. Okay. I'm just keeping the pattern together. Okay. Now my other 2 pieces, actually, I'm just going to use the back. So, but I know I've got a couple of little scraps as well. So I'm going to cut down one of these little scraps first. I'm going to cut it down to 1 3/4. And it's only because I'm trying to be a bit more frugal that I'm using this scrap. So 5 1/4. Okay. And I need another one just like that. So let's have a look. I don't know if my other scraps are big enough. Have a look. Oh, that is. Oh, it's got a little mark on. I can't use that one. And that one's not quite big enough, so I'm going to cut another strip off this one. So I'm just going to cut a 1 3/4 inch strip off. So, hi Jane, you with that grandbaby? Yeah, I thought you might be. How is that little grandbaby doing? So I bet he's grown a lot since the pictures I saw. Okay, so now we've got 2 pieces of pattern 1 and 2 pieces of pattern 2. Okay. Now let me just see. Oh look, I'm going to have to change it because this goes one way and this goes the other, and that will bother me. So let me just see. I'm going to put this one back and I'm going to cut another little piece because that really would bother me. Okay, so let's just cut another 1 3/4 piece. No, I don't want to cut that one, do I? I want to cut this one. So 1 3/4, I'm just going to check it runs the same way. Yeah. 1 3/4. He's doing great. Oh, Betty's grown. So, how old is he now? He must only be a few months, I know, but I can't quite remember. I think it was after I got back from Ontario he was born, and then, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. Okay, so 2 pieces of design number 1, 2 pieces of design number 2, and now they both go the same way. The next thing I need is just 2 pieces of basic white cut at 5 1/4 by 2. Let me just find my basic white. Oh, I've got lots of little scraps on my desk, so let's use it. 2 months. I knew it was when I was sure it was when I came back from Ontario, but then, you know, my mind gets the best of me some days. So 5 1/4, so I can just cut these off in 2-inch pieces. And I only need 2. I don't want that wonky piece. It's okay for a sentiment or something, but I don't want it on my card. Just pop those away. 3 months next week. Oh, it's so sweet. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. So I've got my mint macaron ink pad, and I'm going to use this big tree and this medium-sized tree. Oh, now, as you can see, I haven't used that tree yet, so let's just quickly pop those out. Okay, and let's put the little magic image on the back. I'm going to peel this off. Just on one side, it's easier to peel because it has like a line down it to make it come off in 2 pieces. And I'm just going to measure it up. These are easy ones to put in. So pop it down, and then I'm going to peel it off the whole sheet. So there's number 1. Let's take this backing off. and take the pieces off here. She's not 5 months. No, Laurie, she can't be. I remember you making cards for her. 5 months, that's gone quick. Okay, let's put this here. There we go. Okay, I'll pop the rest back. I'll do the rest another night when I use them. Okay, I'm going to need a little piece of scratch paper, so let's find one of those to start with. Okay, now one piece is going to be for the front of my card, and one piece is going to go on the back, and we're going to have 2 different pictures on. So my first one, I'm going to do the one for the back first. I need a stamping block, and let's put this little tree on. Oh, I'm just going to stamp a couple of little trees. So just at the bottom, and then I'm going to stamp off, because that's quite dark enough for what I need. So I'm going to pop another one here and then stamp off there. That just gives me a little bit of depth as well. I don't need that one anymore, so let's clean that stamp. Oh wow, yeah, 11 months. She's growing fast. Doesn't it go quickly? It didn't go quickly when you had a baby. I was always hoping that at my first baby, oh, when is he going to walk? When is he going to get a tooth? You know, it seemed really slow. I think because of all those sleepless nights as well. But now, looking back, it went really fast. Okay, now my next one, I'm going to use this big tree. I don't think it'll fit on there, no. So let's find a different stamp block. And I'm going to use the sentiment from Peaceful Deer. Okay. Oh, and I need a scrap piece as well. So let's just find that sentiment that I want, which says "Sending love and peace." There we go. Pop that on there. I'll get a little scrap piece as well in a minute. Are you ladies around for our virtual social, Ontario ladies? If you are, just let me know. Oh, I'm going to move that bit down a little bit, just so I can see. Otherwise I think that'll be stamped in a wonky line. Okay, so that's the only sentiment I'm putting on this. Let's just clean that off. Anne-Marie's coming home. She's going to be home at the beginning of December, so I've persuaded her that she's coming to the social as well. So she's going to be stamping with us. I don't think she's stamped since I came back from Ontario. I just got her in the stamping mood, and then I came back and I don't think she's stamped anymore. So I need to change that. I need her to be stamping. Right, I'm going to do 2 trees on here, and I'm going to do 1 on here to cut out, and I'm going to use this big one. Okay, so I'm just going to put 2 little trees, 1 at each side, and I'm not even putting the whole of a tree, and I'm going to put them just off the paper a little bit. I don't want all of the tree to be on, and I want them really to be a different height. Move that one over there. Okay. And then I'm going to leave that one over there to dry. And I'm just going to stamp another one on here. And this is going to be like our focal piece. So I'm going to pop it there. And I want to colour it in a little bit. I don't want it as open as that. So I've just got one of my blender pens. So let's see. Oh, I don't think there's quite enough ink to move about, look. It's moving a little bit, but I want it a bit more than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of ink on a block, and I'm going to paint with that instead. So and I'm just going to pick it up with my blender pen. I'm just going to colour with it. Then it just works like like a paintbrush. If it had been an image with a little bit more ink to it, I would have been able to move just the amount of ink around with this little blender pen. And the blender pen, it's got like a liquid inside, which I presume is something like an alcohol. It dries really fast, but actually I've had these pens for maybe 2 or 3 years, and I use them a lot. But they still seem to keep on going. You get them in packs of 3. So, okay. So, and then to clean them, you just rub like that, and then they're clean. You can put them into another colour. Pop that little one back. We don't need that one anymore. Oh, while I'm here, I'm just going to clean this one too. Then it's done. Okay, now I want to cut this out, and I know there's a die for it, so I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. And on my desk I've already got my little mini cut and emboss machine. So, whoops. So I'm going to find the matching die, which one is it? Oh, that one. Let's pop this in here. I think my plates are getting a bit worn. Let's pop this on here. Let's pop this over the top. Now, if you're worried that it's not going to sit still, you can always just put like a little post-it note over the top, or a little piece of washi tape. Okay, let's pop this through. I don't know how straight that is. So, oh yeah, not so bad. I don't need this one anymore. I'm going to put the die away, but I do want to use this die. And I've got some of the celebration paper, the little gold paper. Let me just see where I've hidden it. Here it is. Haven't used it. If you don't have this, it's called Bedazzling, and it was one of the free celebration items, 8 pieces. If you don't have this, you could use like the silver foiled paper. You could use one of the gold foil papers. Oh, it's really bright. I hope it isn't going to blind you. And I'm going to cut a piece off just because it's going through the smaller machine. Now, it feels quite thick. It's more like a card than a paper. If it's too thick, you can always peel the backs off these, as they have like a layer of card on. And you can always just use this layer. But I don't think it'll be too thick to go through here. So I'm going to put it down onto my glittery paper. It's sort of like glitter, but the bits don't fall off. It's not like a paper covered in glitter. Quite nice, actually. Okay, let's pop this on there, and let's pop that through. Oh, you can feel it's a bit stiffer than just the card. Let's pop this one away. And I don't need the die anymore, so that one can go. Oh, I wonder if I should have put it through twice. Oh no. No, I can see it now. I just couldn't see. It's easier to look at on the back, I think. And I think this really fits the much bigger tree. It looks bigger than the tree that I'm using. So let's have a look. I'm pretty sure it goes on the big tree. So I think it's going to go with that size tree, really. So yeah, but that's okay. We can make it fit. Yeah, I sometimes do peel them apart, Jane, because they can be a bit too thick. And if I want to use them with the double-sided adhesive paper, then I'll peel that back off and put it straight on to here. Before I cut it out, of course. I'll put the adhesive paper on and make it like a little sticker. But yeah, you can cut those down. And I think we're ready to assemble. So this is going to be my front with the big piece at the front. As I say, I'm pretty sure most of the ones I saw went this way with the recess as the front, but I want mine to be here. This piece is going to glue right down in the middle. Let's find some glue. Oh, it nearly came out and then it stopped. Some on the edges, and I'm going to pop it right in the middle there. You should have a nice little border all the way around. Okay, and then these pieces are going to be where your designer series paper is going, and I think I'm going to use the paper that's got the trees on for this side. Now next week I'm going to do a project that we can all do together. So I will post the pieces that you need and then we can craft together if you want to. So it's going to be quite a simple layout, but one that you can make a lot of quite quickly. Oh, I just need a bit more glue under there, look. So I'll post them early. Might even post them the day before or something. And then we can all craft together. Okay, now let me just see. I think that's that piece. Yep. So this is going to go on the front as well. Glory. Your poor husband having to watch me and eat his supper at the same time. I made mine have his supper early. He's on the treadmill now. So I've got a little bit of peace and quiet time. You should get your husband crafting, Laurie. So, there was one year that I had Richard making a card as I was making it, and I videoed it for YouTube. It was the most hilarious thing. So it was, he made a lovely card. Don't get me wrong, it was a lovely card and it was a bit of a technical card, but just watching him try to get the pieces together, it was just so funny. Okay, now I've turned it over, as you can see, and I'm going to use the other side of that paper. So just make sure that you've got it the right way around. These ones are going on the edges. And the same at this side. Jane, do you know if this is called a Bridgefold card or a benchfold card? Because I saw a lot of people called it a benchfold card, but it sort of looks like a bridge as well. And so I wasn't quite sure which name. And then somebody had called it like a double folding gatefold card, and yeah, it was fun to craft together, and he still talks about it now and says, I don't have to make another card. You're not going to make me make another card? Yep, I think I might this year. Okay, so this little piece is going to go right in the middle, and this is the one that you can write your message on. haven't quite finished. Because we haven't finished the front piece. But I wanted to get all these stuck on first. Okay, so that's how our card will stand. So it will sort of look like that as you're looking straight onto it. On the back will look like this, with just the room for you to write your sentiment. But I want to add this piece that we made. And so I'm going to get my little goldy piece. And it will fit on here. Oh, look. Oh, that works out just really well. If I trim that piece, it's going to fit there. And it's sort of a bit springy as well. Look, you could slightly move it up if you needed to. I'm just going to leave it like that. You call it a Bridgefold. Okay. Now a lot of the ones that I saw that said a Bridgefold, they had a piece sort of across here as well, like a narrow piece that held it open like that. So then I wasn't sure, but you call it a Bridgefold. Well, I think that's a much better name. I'm just going to put some little bits of glue on here, and it doesn't want to come out. Oh, now I've got a lot. Okay, and I'm just putting it at the edges where there's a wider piece of the card. Let's take a bit off here. There's quite a lot at the top. Okay, I'm going to pop it right over on here. I'm going to start at the top. I know I can move it about a little bit just because I'm using the liquid glue. There we go. Let's hold that bit down. It's not really meant for this tree, but who would know? Only us. And then I'm going to pop some dimensionals on the back. Pop one up here as well. Take these little backings off. I'm just going to stand this over at the front. Oh, I could even have done a few more trees, look. So I have some more in the background. Okay. And then I've got a lot of bling on there, but I want to just put a few little rhinestones or something. So just to cover some of this white space here. I'll know next time to put a little bit more of the trees over this side too. Okay, now let's see. What are the colours on the bling already? Oh, it's like a silver. I think I'll just use my plain silver ones. And just use the little ones. Let's have a look. I won't stick them right down. I'm not going to put one on the tree. I'm just going to, let's have a look. I might just put them on like this. I don't want them to be sort of too symmetrical or anything, or sticking on these other trees. I think that's all I'm just going to pop on. Flatten it down and squash them on. So there we are. I'm going to leave it that way so that you can actually see it, because if I put it that way, I don't know how much of you will see. Thank you, Jane. Oh dear. I do love our Tuesday evenings. It makes me laugh. So, hi Libby. No, don't worry at all. We were just making what I called a benchfold card, but we've decided it's called a bridgefold card. So I'll put all the dimensions and supplies on tomorrow on my blog, because this is the one that we made tonight, Libby. We used the Whimsy and Wonder paper, and it stands up like this, and then on the back you've got room to write your sentiment. So, but it just stands up nicely. But it does fit in an ordinary card because it's 5.5 by 4. So if, in an ordinary card, in an ordinary envelope, it fits in. Okay. But tomorrow I've challenged myself to do a video using this same fold, which we're going to call a Bridgefold. Okay. And I was playing yesterday when I was designing for this, I was playing with sponging and made this piece. So I don't quite know how it's going to work yet, but it's going to be the same sort of card, but with this kind of a piece on. I will show how I did the sponging and everything, but I want a masculine card for when we go back to the UK. And so I thought this would just be perfect. And I'll do some sponging, some masking, and a little bit of stamping, but I just don't know what's going to go down the sides because I haven't got a paper that's this blue, which is balmy blue, and navy, and misty moonlight. And when I was looking at the papers that I have, it didn't work for what I wanted. So I might even do some embossing. So tomorrow's video will be this. Once I get back from work at lunchtime, I'll make my video and put it straight on, and I'll put the dimensions for this card. There are these ones here, but I'll put them on, and the things I used, and for this card as well. So wish me luck with that because I don't know how it's going to turn out. Water on a sailboat on one side. That would be pretty. That would be nice. See, I could do like more stamping here, couldn't I? I could make a whole sea scene. Oh, but I need it to be a quick card. I might sit for about 3 hours doing a water scene. But yeah, so I liked just playing and doing this sponging. But I think I want the water to go a little bit higher up as well. So somehow this kind of a picture is going to appear in a card. Okay. So I think that's all I've got to tell you. At the very beginning, I was saying to Laurie about the sale that's on. Don't forget, because there's only today, tomorrow and the next day. And it's the one with, let's move this. It's the one with the 10% off cardstock, 15% off ink pads, 20% off dies. And when I was saying about which dies I would use, I would probably use the circle dies most of all. So if you don't have any dies at all, I would go for the layering circles with the scallops. This set where you've got the scallops and the plain circles, because these layer just so beautifully. And then the other thing was just a quick reminder about the virtual social on December the 4th. And it says to RSVP by the 19th. I've actually got a few days leeway because at the moment our orders from Stampin' Up are coming so fast. At one time they were nearly 2 weeks, but at the moment mine are taking maybe 5-6 days. So we do have a little bit of leeway if you haven't quite decided yet. But let me know if you would like a place. Okay, so I think that's it for this evening, unless anybody has any questions or something that you're going to tell us, then I think that's it. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for the laughs and everything. It really does cheer up my Tuesday evenings. And I hope the lights worked. I hope having the hot lights here worked beautifully. Laurie, go and eat supper with your husband, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you all again really, really soon. Take care and have a good week and stay warm. Bye, everyone.